So far this MLB offseason, every team combined has spent $1.225 billion. That's excluding the Dodgers, who by themselves have almost outspent the entire MLB combined at $1.202 billion. For the past 10 years, the Dodgers have entered the season with the best team on paper, but only have one ring to show for it. So, they entered this offseason with one main goal, to sign Shohei Ohtani. Not only did they just sign Shohei, but they traded for Tyler Glasnow and Manuel Margot, signed Yoshinobu Yamamoto, re-signed Jason Hayward, signed Teoscar Hernandez, and extended Max Muncy. Now with the payroll projected to clear $300 million, the Dodgers will approximately be $70 million over the luxury tax threshold. Are the Dodgers truly that good and have the potential to set records, or are they becoming overhyped like usual? Let's start with the lineup. Leading off, we have Mookie Betts, who's obviously one of the best players in all of baseball. This season, he's going to be moving from right field to second base, but I doubt it's going to affect his stellar defense. In 2023, he was second in the majors with 8.3 wins above replacement, only behind new teammate Shohei Ohtani. He won a Silver Slugger and finished second in MVP. Despite the awards, Betts was nowhere to be found in the wildcard series against the D-backs, unable to collect a hit in 3 games. The story for first baseman Freddie Freeman is much the same as Mookie Betts. Like Mookie, Freddie had a spectacular second season in Dodger Blue and finished third in MVP voting. However, the star power was again nowhere to be found in October, only collecting 1 hit in the entire series. Both Mookie and Freddie had phenomenal seasons in 2023, but the lack of postseason success is somewhat concerning. For the Dodgers to capitalize on their amazing lineup, their stars will have to perform when it matters the most. Rounding out the best top 3 in baseball, we have two-way superstar Shohei Ohtani. We all know what Shohei is capable of doing on both sides of the ball. Unfortunately, we'll only see Shohei the hitter in 2024, but he's still a very dangerous player. Even if he doesn't keep up his 180 WRC plus from last year, Ohtani with this lineup around him will be prone to drive in and create lots of runs. The middle of the order consists of Will Smith, Max Muncy, and James Outman. The catcher Smith has always been consistently good offensively ever since he got called up in 2019. He's improved his defensive stats over time too, getting better at pitch framing and blocking. One concern is workload, as Smith caught the 11th most innings last year, and we can see this affecting his performance. For his career, he's been 39 points higher in OPS and 18 points higher in batting average in the first half of his seasons. Third baseman Max Muncy signed a 2-year $24 million extension at the start of the offseason. Last season, he had a $212 batting average with a $333 on base with 36 homers. His 26.4% strikeout rate was his highest in 5 years, but his 14.7 walk rate and power made up for it. His 118 WRC plus was below his career average, but still ranked 8th amongst regular third basemen. Next up, we have the very intriguing case of James Outman. Outman is an outfielder who finished 3rd in NL Rookie of the Year and had a solid rookie season. However, Outman's biggest issue is his strikeouts. His whiff rate of 36.6% was in the 2nd percentile of all of baseball last season, and his K rate of 31.9% was in the 6th percentile. As a hitter, Outman just loves swinging. His swing decision stats are probably amongst the worst in the league. Turning 27 next year, Outman can still provide great defense in center field with power and great base running, but the strikeouts are still a looming issue. Next up is the newly acquired Teoscar Hernandez. Hernandez made his splash in the big leagues as a big power bat for the Toronto Blue Jays. This past season, despite staying consistently healthy, all of his numbers took a dip, and like Outman, he struck out a lot. In a down season in Seattle, he was 3rd in the entire league in strikeouts. Similar to Hayward or JD Martinez last season, is it possible the team can ignite a spark in Teoscar? What Teoscar does very well is hit the ball hard. Last season, he was in the 90th percentile in the league in hard hit rate and 80th percentile in barrel rate. Throughout his MLB career, he's known to crush lefties. Over the last 3 seasons, Hernandez against lefties has hit .317, .349 with a .628 slugging. His 164 WRC plus against lefties since the start of the 2021 ranks 5th in the league. Production-wise, Hernandez is a great bat to have hit 7th and in left field. Last season, the Dodgers got minimum production out of David Peralta on left field, and in a weak corner outfield market, the team did a great job here. The signing of Hernandez, who's a former All-Star, gives the Dodgers another power bat with 30 homer potential alongside Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Max Muncy. Due to Shohei having to be the DH, the Dodgers will take the risk of putting Hernandez in the outfield. Defensively, he's not the most consistent, but we have seen his outs above average increase over time to be a net zero defensive outfielder last season. He does make a couple unwatchable errors every year, but he can make up with it with his strong arm. Expect Chris Taylor, a more subpar bat who's very versatile, to get some plate appearances behind Hernandez. Overall, this is a great low-risk, high-reward signing if the Dodgers can get Teoscar to go back to his 2021 and 2022 form in the 7th spot. One of the best reclamation projects of all of last year, batting 8th and in right field, it's Jason Heyward. This spot will be shared between Heyward and the newly acquired Manuel Margot. Heyward was an outfielder many thought his career was over. After signing a minor league deal with the Dodgers, he was able to make a much bigger impact than many expected. The Dodgers identified a change in his swing, making him keep his hands higher and more compact, allowing him to catch up to the ball more freely. It worked, as Heyward hit 15 homers and posted an OPS of 813. Not only does he bring great production, but also has World Series experience and has already been a great veteran and mentor to James Outman. If you've watched any Rays baseball, you also know how important Manuel Margot has been to his team. He brings good defense, clutch hitting, some power, and good contact, and just a guy who you love to have on your bench. And at shortstop and the 9th spot, we have the former top prospect infielder Gavin Lux. Lux, who's now 24 years old, has shown promise over the past couple years. Despite a slow start to his major league career, the former number 2 prospect hit .276 with a .745 OPS in 2022. He lost all of 2023 to a torn ACL in spring training, but looks ready to bounce back. Miguel Rojas took over with great defense, except his offense isn't his biggest forte. The Dodgers would like Lux to improve on his 2022 performance and give them an above average bat out of the number 9 position in the batting order. It's also important to know that Lux is moving back to shortstop from second base, the position he played growing up and all throughout the minors. Now, we head to analyze the pitching staff. This is an interesting group of 5 pitchers that may potentially turn into 6. The group consists of Tyler Glasnow, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Walker Buehler, Bobby Miller, and Emmett Sheehan. If needed, Ryan Yarbrough may be called upon from the bullpen as a 6th starter. Let's start with Team Japan's ace, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Us MLB fans saw a glimpse of his future last year in the WBC. Even though Yamamoto has never thrown a pitch in the big leagues, his stuff is expected to translate extremely well to the big leagues. He has a rising fastball with an average velocity of 96 miles per hour, spin of 2,269 rotations per minute, vertical drop of 13 inches, and horizontal break of 11 inches. But let's get to his signature pitch, the rainbow curveball. One of the most beautiful things in baseball to me is when a batter gets frozen up on a curveball for a called strike 3. And that type of pitch, for the last 10 years, is what Dodgers fans grew into love with Clayton Kershaw. Now, we have Yoshinobu Yamamoto. The pitch sits mid to upper 70s in velocity with big vertical movement and a swooping break. Next in his arsenal is a splitter. Of Yamamoto's 11 strikeouts in the WBC, 7 came on splitters. In terms of velocity, movement, and spin, his splitter is really similar to none other than Shohei Ohtani. The splitter has also been Shohei Ohtani's big put-away pitch in the big leagues, and he's had a ton of success with it so far. And then finally is Yamamoto's cutter. It has tight movement and good velo, but it's more of a tertiary pitch, used behind his other big pitches. I think, like the other pitchers who've made the jump from Japan to the States, Yamamoto definitely has the stuff to become a dominant pitcher in the league. Many people are putting him in Cy Young conversations already. I'm excited to see him pitch, but let's pump the brakes and let him adjust first. But there's a lot to be excited if you're a Dodgers fan in Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Next, we have an ace who missed all of 2023, Walker Buehler. Buehler is expected to return into the starting rotation in 2024, and the Dodgers should be very excited to have him back. He has been an ace-level pitcher in the rotation for years and was heavily missed last season. Their starters combined for a 4.57 ERA without Buehler in 2023, the highest by Dodgers rotation since 1929. The question in 2024 won't be Buehler's ability, but rather his availability. Buehler doesn't seem like he'll be fully 100% by the start of the season, and there are still some question marks around the rest of the rotation, so a healthy Buehler is something the Dodgers desperately need. Next is the California native, Tyler Glasnow. Some people say he looks like Cillian Murphy. Other people like me say Tyler Glasnow has the ability to become a top 10 pitcher in baseball. He stands at 6'8", weighs 225 with 3 great pitches, a fastball, slider, and a curveball. Since 2019, he has a 26-11 record, 3.03 ERA with a 1.37 ERA+. There's no doubt the stuff is already there for Glasnow. It's whether he can actually stay on the mound for a full season. His 120 innings in 2023 were a career high, and the only other year he's pitched above 100 innings was 2018, back when he was a relief pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates. If the Dodgers want to win some rings, they better keep Tyler Glasnow healthy for some of these long postseason runs. He's key to this rotation's success. Next up is another magical pitching prospect that came seemingly out of nowhere in the Dodgers system. It's Bobby Miller. The 25-year-old ended his rookie season throwing 124 innings with a 3.76 ERA, 119 strikeouts, and impressive 2 walks per 9 innings. He's continued to pound the strike zone with his 100+ mile fastball and shown some good command, but his off-speed pitches are his specialty. Between both his slider and his changeup, Miller seemed to have a good strikeout pitch against batters from both sides of the plate. Unfortunately, his lone postseason start didn't go as expected, as the D-backs scored 3 runs before he could record 3 outs, and he exited the game in the second inning. In 2024, improving the usage rate and effectiveness of his slider is key. Although opponents slugged well against it, I think more consistency in the zone is key. His changeup grades out as an above-average pitch in his arsenal, and it has the lowest batting average against at 133 and the highest whiff rate of all of his pitches, at nearly 40%. Rounding out the rotation, we have Emmett Sheehan. In a wild ride of 2023, Sheehan showed he has the potential to be a solid starting pitcher for the Dodgers. Sheehan was electrifying in his debut, throwing 6 no-hit innings against the Giants. And in his second start, Sheehan continued living up to his reputation for lots of solid innings with another 6 good innings against the Astros. After being optioned down to the minors later in the year, Sheehan pitched well enough to earn a call-up again and also a spot on the postseason roster. He was called in after Kershaw's disastrous NLDS Game 1 start, and while he gave up 3 runs, he also recorded 11 outs to get the Dodgers through the 4th inning. He's a very coachable player and the type of guy to make great adjustments on his own. A cool story is that he's managed to completely change his game by himself by studying videos of star major leaguers on YouTube during the COVID lockdown while at Boston College. And he's continued to do this type of research while he's on the Dodgers and make some adjustments and be open by himself. The Dodgers bullpen is an interesting story. Their core of Teoscar Hernandez, Evan Phillips, and Caleb Ferguson are all returning, and Blake Trinan should be coming back from shoulder surgery at some point in early 2024. They re-signed Joe Kelly, who is a fan favorite. Many feel the team should use their pieces from the minor league roster to trade for a guy like Emmanuel Clase, or even just throw a bunch of money to sign a guy like Josh Hader. By signing Hader, the Dodgers would be adding arguably the best closer in the league to one of the best bullpens already in the NL. Hader closing with Evan Phillips, Teoscar Hernandez, and Caleb Ferguson setting up would make their bullpen downright scary. However, I think the Dodgers can be just fine without either of those 2 prized closers. Evan Phillips was as good as any closer in the game last season in the second half, and Teoscar Hernandez was one of the best relievers in the game last year. Caleb Ferguson and Alex Vesia are solid, and Joe Kelly and Yency Almonte are up and down, but unhittable when they can command the zone. And there's a reliable swingman in Ryan Yarbrough, who is pretty decent for the Rays. Add in JP Fireisen and Blake Trinan, and potentially the second half Dustin May. The Dodger bullpen led the league in F4 last season, and I see no reason why that can't continue. One arm I like that they've been linked to is Ryan Brazier. You never know if they go out and make the splash for a guy like Hader, because of the Dodgers, they have all the assets to trade for a guy like Clase, but regardless, I think this bullpen will continue being very good with the plenty of options they already have. Overall, the Dodgers look like the best team in baseball on paper. They have the potential to set records. We're talking about a 110+ win team. The scary lineup down in Atlanta might give them a run for their money, but it's going to get even scarier when the Dodgers get Shohei Ohtani as a pitcher in 2025 and Yoshinobu Yamamoto gets accustomed to the big leagues. Like top arms like Dustin May and Tony Gonsolin are dealing with injuries, and we completely forgot about them returning. This lineup should always continue to rake with the amount of options available, top to bottom. The Teoscar Hernandez signing is a great one for him to revitalize his career on a 1-year deal, which should also immensely help the Dodgers. We know about the star power surrounding him on this roster, and they have what it takes to finally quiet the haters, break some records, win a bunch of regular season games, and go for that prized possession to cap it all off, the World Series ring. Thank you guys for watching today's video, where I broke down in a pretty long video the entire Los Angeles Dodgers 2024 roster and breaking down the entire super team that's about to take over the MLB. They seem pretty exciting and fun to watch. Tune into some Dodger baseball next season because there's never a moment without some excitement. Thank you guys. Hope you subscribe, like the video. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. I'm out.